As you might be able to tell from the video on CrossFit, Olympic lifting certainly has its place for the martial artist. Now, the reason that Olympic lifting, which is really just called weightlifting, is the Olympic style of weightlifting, the Olympic competition lifts. So whenever you hear somebody say weightlifting, generally speaking, that means, or should mean, within a sporting context, Olympic style lifting, but people being who they are, it is sometimes nice to specify. So Olympic lifting. So Olympic lifting is really just the two lifts, the clean and jerk and the snatch, and you will do a large variety of partial pieces of those movements and supplementary exercises and whatnot. One of the reasons that Olympic lifting is very, very important for a martial artist is the fact that Olympic lifting is where you are going to find some of the most explosive strength athletes, other than maybe say Highland Games, which is largely throwing. In fact, we could expand this out to just Olympic sports in general, including track and field. I'm not going to do a video on track and field, but you know, we'll briefly mention that here and there. But this old world idea of being able to pick things up off the ground, press them overhead, and throw things goes back. I mean, we have, you know, we of course have Greek examples going all the way back to the first Olympics and before, and then, you know, in more modern times and people actually talking about conditioning and whatnot, we have some, you know, 500-year-old accounts of people talking about, hey, this is what your training regimen should look like outside of combat, and lo and behold, it's mostly, you know, running, jumping, and throwing things, track and field stuff. But the reason that I'm bringing those up is the idea of being explosive. There is very little that you need in life that requires explosion more than fighting and fleeing, you know, your emergency response exercises. And those are very, very important things to build up. And yes, you can do a lot of that with just, you know, body weight movements, as we've discussed, moving your body through space, just running and jumping, doing parkour, things like that. Very, very valuable. But it's really, really not necessarily going to be enough on its own. And being able to express your strength explosively is going to require you to do some things under load. Now, you know, on the one side, adaptation is specific, so doing these things may not increase everything being explosive, but then on the other side, we have to do some, you know, pseudo-generalized training. So, you know, you have to kind of pick and choose between that stuff anyway. But the crux of the matter is that you need to be able to be explosive if you're going to strike well, if you are going to be able to explode into a throw, or, you know, dive under somebody's legs for a shot or something like that. Being explosive is such a valuable asset to have. And in the world of strength and fitness, there is nothing that trains you exploding more than Olympic lifting. I think that's about all I can say for it, because all the supplementary training starts looking a little bit more like just other strength training. And so, you know, if you take that along with what we talked about in powerlifting, what we talked about in CrossFit and body weight, then what you're starting to see is just this constant idea of being kind of multimodal, right? As martial artists, you know, if you want to build that hero body and skill set and foundation, that ability to be like any hero, classical, fictional, you know, super, whatever, you have to be able to do a lot of things really well, and you really can't kind of over specialize because that's not what the job is. Being a martial artist, being a fighter, your job is essentially physical problem solving. So you need to be able to have a bunch of tools that you can rely on as different variables create different problems. So let's wrap that up there, and I will talk to you guys later. Good journey. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. In the links down below, you can find our social media, and I encourage you to follow us there. Take a look at our blog, where we have articles that go into depth that we just can't do in our video productions. And on top of that, go to our Amazon store, pick out a shirt that you like, and every little bit helps. If you're ever in the Phoenix area, look us up. Come in for a class, come in for open mat, whatever. Love to see you down here. You can find all our contact info on the website. Talk to you guys in the next one. Good journey.